Like I remember Cole, he's so pure. He used to not do any press because he just didn't want to engage his ego, even if it was good press. You know, he's been offered like, the cover of like Rolling Stone and things like that, and he's just like, yeah, but then I'm gonna like pay attention to it, and then I'm gonna wonder, like it's he's so pure. He just keeps it about art, and yeah, he does press here and there sometimes, but he's a good example of someone who's like, I think, very present and in tune with not thinking a lot about what other people think and just kind of staying with what matters.
That's interesting as a publicist, though. That's interesting as a publicist, though, right? Because like part of what you do is you bring opportunities to artists, right? You bring up,
Sure.
and so you're bringing
But
opportunity to J. Cole, and
like,
into
not paying attention to what everyone thinks is the key. Meaning, I have seen really, really famous artists. Actually, there's one that I was thinking of, and I don't rep, but I used to be around a lot.
Mhm.
Um, and that person seemed to me to be reading every comment on Instagram. And I remember saying to them, "You have got to stop doing that. Like, don't look at
Mm.
all. Like, don't
Mm.
even look at all.
Mm.
Like, just do what you do." And keep it moving because you are a famous person and you're not a regular person, and it is different for you. Regular people don't have thousands of people talking about how they look or how shitty their song was or they got fat or whatever these terrible things that people say. Regular people might just have someone be a little icy and then they get all upset. It's a very different scenario. So real deal artists like Abel, The Weeknd, J. Cole, Tyler, but the people I've worked with, Skrillex, one thing I've noticed about them that they have in common is they have their eyes so on the prize and on the vision of what they care about
Hmm.
that I don't think any of those people are real. They're not spending time listening to the noise.
Wow.
And if
Yeah.
you really listen to the noise as an artist, I don't know how you would really make it. And it would impact your art because then you would start changing your art based on the noise around you. And that would be really messing with
That's
your
interesting.
creativity. So
Yeah.
don't look, don't listen. Turn the comments off. Don't read the comments.
I guess the tricky thing is like when you're starting out, Kathryn, you kind of you need people to get behind your art a little bit, right? But that's just going to happen organically if you're
Sure.
right, if you're making good art.
I work with really young artists all the time, like brand new.
Yeah.
Like, a lot
Yeah.
of my huge artists I've worked with since they were like a kid in their bedroom. And I tell them all the same thing, which is like, yes, you need social media because it's your marketing machine. It's how you get yourself out into the world.
Yeah.
Um, and yes, you want to engage fans to some extent because it's how they have a connection to you and you build it up. But you have to have real boundaries
Yeah.
and limits to how you engage and what you read and what you look at, and
Mm.
comparing yourself and your numbers to other people who put something out. Oh, they got 100,000 more views than I did when I put mine out. And I've heard people get down to the like, it's been out 12 hours. So and so's when they were out 12 hours, they were at already a million. We're at, like
That
that kind
happens.
of stuff
Yeah.
is crazy making.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Social media, I use it.
Yeah.
It helps me with business totally.
Right.
And I love looking at certain things. I tap into the humanity of the world on my social media because mine is like a happy channel.
Yeah.
Like if you go through my feed, it's nothing but happy. My old channel started to make me have a lot of anxiety,
Really. Yeah.
and we have to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to protect yourself, put your oxygen mask on, put some boundaries around how you handle things.
Yeah.
Same thing like I love pizza. I'll eat a piece of pizza. I don't need to eat two large pizzas. I'll feel like shit. It won't work out for me.
Right.
So, you apply that to literally everything,
I like that. Yeah. That's
especially social.
it's important. I like it. Mike Tyson's trainer, Kathryn, said he had this really cool sort of parable about fear and how he's like, fear is
Mhm.
a friend of extraordinary people, right? So he's like, because fear is like fire. Fire can keep you warm in the winter, it can cook your food, but if you let it get out of control, it can burn you up. So you've spent a lot of time around the weekend and just seeing somebody, I don't know, operate at a really high level for a long time. Like, what's one thing you've just observed and how's he able to do that in a graceful way?
He's just really pure to himself. He surrounds himself with people that are really genuine and true and his real friends. They're the people he's been with before he was The Weeknd. And, really like I think has like a lot of like just really tapped into his own truth and his own vision, trusts himself.
Yep.
Sometimes I get artists who come in, they want to be famous and they want to be all this stuff, but they don't trust themselves, and they need a lot from other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I always know right away, I'm like, they're not gonna make it. Like I
Wow.
just sometimes I've literally watched things that are really hyped up because I can tell it's
Wow.
going to become this like really hard thing, you know. And then there's the Abels of the world, and you know, Skrillex is another one, that person I work with, J. Cole,
Yep.
you know, where they're so clear on and tapped into their creativity, and they don't waste their time listening to a bunch of other voices because
Wow.
they trust themselves. I think that those kind of people, my guess is Tyler's probably that way. You know, I don't know him,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I find that all the greats usually have that.
Mm-hmm.
And Kanye has it really strongly too. I worked with Kanye for a while,
Yeah.
and you know, things change when people have like mood disorders and different things that can affect, you know, addiction. You know, all kinds of things can kind
Yeah.
of change our general disposition. But like Kanye, you even watch it when you watch the documentary that was made on him. He was so tied into his own passion and what he believed to be true, and was like so excited to share it with the world, and he didn't give a shit what people thought.